Hello, Nigerians. Good morning. Welcome to your favorite show, Abuja Today on AGTV. I'm Jethro Ilya. On the show this morning, we'll take a look at the issue of 2023 general election, and the people of the FCT observe that in the past few years, the people have agitated for several, of course, so let's not say too many, but so many rights that they claim have been taken away from them. The issue of their status as a people, the issue of land grabbing, and of course, among so many others. On the show to discuss this, we have Kelta Admedalo Giwa. She is a development practitioner. Good morning.
Good morning, Jethro. Thanks
Welcome.
for having me.
Yes, 2023 just around the corner. The people of the FCT, this is the heart of the nation, the capital of the nation. We can't afford to have protests here and there. And if you ask, they'll tell you there are issues, there are reasons for this protest. Having been in this part of the country for several years, you're familiar with these issues. Now 2023 is around the corner. What should the people be talking about?
Thank you very much. Yes, 2023 is around the corner. A lot of political activities are ongoing.
Yes.
So the question is to ask the FCT people, what are we also doing in preparation for 2023 elections? We have seen the party flag bearers. They've emerged
From
a lot
different
of
parties,
work. Yes,
yeah.
from different parties. We now know all of them.
Yes.
So the issue is we have our problems. And like you said, there have been protests, various forms of agitation of these issues. Now, how are we going to engage these people when they come campaigning?
Shouldn't it be on the part of the political party members, leadership of the political parties, various parties?
Good. It can be part of the members of the political parties. They can also be part of it. So that's why I'm saying preparation. So preparation will entail different things. So in the first place, how many of us are in the party systems?
Now, as
how many
a
of us
civil
are
society
active?
organization person, now, I feel that I think this shouldn't really, in quote and unquote, concerns the civil organization. How do you react to that?
Well, for us, our role is to mobilize citizens to participate in the electoral
Elections,
process.
okay.
That's our role. We are a mobilizing team. We raise awareness. Let people be aware of what the electoral process is all about. When should campaigns begin? How should they prepare to engage the those who are coming in to seek for power? How should they engage them? So, for instance, now people have what they call the Charter of Demands.
Okay, now, I think that is where we are heading to. What should the FCT people be engaging?
That's where I was going.
Candidates.
That's where I was going.
Okay, go ahead.
So when I said we now know the political parties, we now know who are the flag bearers, we know who are our politicians in these political parties. So how are we preparing to engage them? So we've had several issues, like you said, land grabbing, the issue of the status of the FCT, should we have a mayor, the issue of insecurity, because that's a new one too that is coming.
A new challenge.
A new challenge that is facing. So how are we prepared to engage these people? You mentioned negotiation earlier on when we were chatting.
Yes.
So what's that negotiating tool that we have developed? And that's why I talked about the Charter of Demands. We have these issues. Are we going to present all of them at the same time? Do we think these people are ready? They have solutions to this problem. So when they come for campaign, what are we talking to them about? So should as indigenous or people in the FCT begin to think and prioritize all these issues? Which of them is the main one? Yes. What are the main issues we are putting on the negotiating table?
Well, there are many.
Exactly.
So that's they should prioritize.
That's what I'm talking about. There are many. So which one is burning more?
Okay.
Which are the ones that are burning more, that affect people more?
More.
That we should be putting on the table. If we come to an agreement, it will be good. Or else, the politicians will go here. Mr. A or community A will talk about this issue. The other community will bring the other issue. And of course, these people will get confused. And of course, they will just make empty promises.
And at the end of the day, they do nothing.
Nothing.
Now, FCT has suffered all of this in the past years.
Yeah.
The issue of a mayoral status became a burning and a topical issue in the discourse. Now, recently, the National Assembly just concluded the process of collecting suggestions and input for the amendment of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Now the issue of a mayor for FCT, like I said, became a burning one. Some are of the opinion that FCT should be given a state status, while some other argue that this is the heart or the capital of the nation. And the reason for bringing FCT down to Abuja was for every Nigerian to have a sense of belonging, to have a melting point. Now you have people who originally are the owners of this place and have not been, let's say, settled outside the territory. Right. Should mayor or state status, which of these best fit into the condition right now?
That's a very tough question, and for me, I throw it back to the people because I know of the consultation you are talking about. The people of FCT, especially through the original Inhabitants Development Association, have been doing those form of engagements.
Yes.
I know for them initially they had the proposal for a mayor status for the FCT.
Okay.
And I'm aware of the zonal constitutional amendment meetings that have been going on, and they've taken this issue.
One happened in Mina, and then I think the other happened in Jos.
In Jos, yes. They've prepared various memos and they've gone with it. So for me, it's to look at what works well for us. If we want to enjoy the status as a state,
yes,
then we have to push for it. We need to look at, that's why for me it's important that the people are the ones deciding. For us in civil society, or anybody in civil will not decide for the people. We know what works for us.
Okay.
If we want to be a state, we know that yes, we will be a state and we'll have all the structures
of a state.
But
some say that now even the constitution is clear that FCT shall be treated as if it were one of the states.
Yes.
Now, coming down to FCT, almost every status in the state, as it's obtainable in various states, is in the FCT. You have a chief judge of FCT, just like you have in the state. You have all the security commands you have in the FCT. And of course, commissioners for state at the federal level, you also have in the state. So I think what should, or let's say what is left?
Exactly. So if we already have all this, that's
should it be just implementation, or
your implementation from what you are saying somehow is happening? If you have already people in charge of various bits, you talked about security. FCT has their own FCT command.
Yes. Civil Defense Command, Police Command, Army,
for CID, mention them all. We all have them. We have the Abuja electricity. You understand? We already have this structure. So implementation is already going. But is that what obtains in the states? Does it just stop there with commissioners and all that?
No.
When we come to the parliaments, we have them at the area council levels.
But that can be measured.
No, I'm just talking about there's not even a parliament actually. What are they called
like
now? The area councils, where they have the speakers, they have councillors and all that.
Okay.
That's at like local government level.
Yes.
Is that what obtains in states? States have a state level. Do we have that? So it's to do an assessment. What do we have right now? What is working right now? What is not working and that we need to push for if we prefer a state status, right? Okay. So should we must have somebody who will call like a lead, a governor or a mayor or whatever.
Yes.
That is one. We must have the parliament that
has
representation from the 6 area councils. Do we have that?
That's another point.
We don't have those. So that's why I'm saying do an assessment of where we are. Like you said, these are the issues that are already existing. These are what we don't have. How do we push for those things? Because if we don't get it right, we make the mistake.
Okay. Now, we're at a crossroad as a people. I live in the FCT. You live in the FCT.
Yeah.
And you and I can testify to the fact that if there is no peace in the FCT, and Nigeria is affected. Now, looking at the side of the government, should these people of the FCT be allowed to always protest for what they need or what they deserve before the government come to their aid? I've been in this place for several years, and I'm a witness to several protests. Some people have been killed in the course of this protest. Some have, of course, injured and all of that. Now, the issue of demolition is another thing on its own, where some developers just come and then get into a community and
Just take-
with a paper, allocation paper, and then said this land belongs to me. And you see people running here and there. What should government, federal government, because this is where the whole thing is. What should they do in addressing this thing? What do you think they need to do?
the people, right?
Yeah.
Besides protest. We've, like you said, we've had protests of all kinds and a lot of things have happened. We had a lot of repression. So the issue now is, if protest is not working, what else can work for us?
Okay.
How are we preparing? Because it's to do an assessment of where we're coming from so that we know where we're going. Or else we'll just find ourselves repeating
The same
the
circle.
same thing and not getting what we
Results.
want. Have we been talking to the right people? Have the right people been speaking? Have we been
Talking about the right people, who do you mean?
When I say the right people, I mean those who, when they speak in this town, they will hear them. Most times you see protests, most of them are organized by young people,
Yes. Majorly.
majorly by young people. And so they are tagged as rebels, and that's
Okay.
the only language they know. If we don't need protests, who should we
We
be
talk to.
talking to? So who are our traditional rulers? Who are our legislators? Who are those elected into our elected officials? Are they speaking for us? How should we engage them
That's
for
another
them
point.
to speak for us? Are we engaging with them in such a way that they are not seeing us as rebels? Because we need to also not be confrontational all the time.
Okay.
Because once you are confrontational, you'll be tagged as a rebel, and we know already the space for civic engagement is shrinking. So if confrontation and protests are not working, what other alternatives? Should we be having negotiation meetings? Should we be having fora where we are meeting with elected rep, so that we are all understanding each other?
Such like a town hall
Town
meeting.
hall engagements, all those meeting with the right people, and not, and then also asking them to come and be very open and honest discussions. Have honest discussions with people, not to come and tell people what they want to hear. We know what politicians can do. They come and tell us what we want to hear, and when they move, and that is ends there. But as we even have those discussions, like a resolution is being drafted out. This is what came out of this meeting, and we are going to hold you to it. And then there are follow-up, so that it doesn't end there. So we must prepare, follow up and engage, and then prepare as the elections are coming. Use those things as a charter of demands and engage whoever is coming. We know the people, like I said, the flag bearers are out. When they now come within the FCT, we already know these people. Who are you looking at that you think has the capacity to address the issues that we have come
Yes.
from? Because
Yes.
from those town hall meetings, the issues are coming from bottom.
Yes.
Let's not start from
From
he's
the
sitting
top.
at the top and deciding that.
Saying what he's not at the bottom experiencing.
So working with the people who are affected by the issues from the beginning, and then engaging, and then constant follow-up and using those issues to engage people when the campaigns are flagged off, is very important. And then of course follow up. Religious leaders, traditional, who are they the ones speaking for us? There are people, there are people who speak, and some of our people will hear them.
Yes.
Are we engaging them? So are those who do the protest, are we going in a manner that we are talking and lobbying, not confrontation? That's why
All the time.
because once it's confrontation, once the moment they hear this, who are here, oh, they've come again, and they will shut their doors at you. So how do we relate?
So there
Have
should be
those dialogue.
There should be some protesting, and some other persons
Whatever,
probably
exactly.
doing like negotiation or lobbying.
Yes, so that we are not just putting all our eggs in one basket, protest and it's not working, and then we come back, we are fagged
Okay.
out, tired, and of course we just go back to sleep, and the issues continue to burn. And
I asked you
affect
a
us.
question earlier.
Yeah.
Probably you didn't get
Okay,
that.
okay.
Should government always wait for citizens to protest
No.
before
No.
what is supposed to be done is done?
No, government should not wait, ideally. Because the people did not elect you so that they can protest before you answer them. People gave you their votes because they had confidence that you work for them. So government should not wait. Protests only happen because the government is failing to do what it's supposed to do.
So
Government should not
in the
wait.
real sense, our government is failing.
Yes, they have failed people. And that's why there's protest. Government have failed.
Wow.
Government have failed.
Okay.
Insecurity-wise, we were here. The security apparatus has sent out information before now.
Intelligence.
Intelligence reports. are going to be attacked in the FCT. So many of them are being circulated. So the question now is, how prepared are we to arrest those kind of intelligence reports? How to work with them? That's an example I'm just giving you where I'm showing you failure.
Okay, moving forward, FCT is the heart of Nigeria, like I always maintain.
Sure.
And every hand must be on deck to ensuring that this center of unity is preserved jealously. But you cannot. There's an adage that says that if you see the water, let's say bringing out this what's it called, there must be something under the water. So if you see protest, if you see agitations, it means there's something that is not being done right.
Okay.
We started on the issue of engaging the candidates of various political parties.
Okay.
Now, these individuals who are candidates of APC, PDP, Labour Party, NNPP, etc., they didn't come from the sky.
Sure.
They're Nigerians.
Mm-hmm.
As civil society organization, what's your call? Talking about FCT to these people, but so that anyone that emerges winner at the end of the day, so you can be able to say, okay, yeah, he or she has heard this. Let me do this. What's your call as an organization to these people, for the FCT people?
Well, like I said, the campaigns are going to start soon, and these people will go to the nooks and crannies to talk to people in the FCT.
Yeah.
They shouldn't come and make empty promises. People are tired of empty promises. And of course, we don't even see some of the leaders as credible again because of the experiences of the past. So if you want to be credible, you must also come out as a leader who is ready to listen to the people and work with the people, and ensure that as a duty bearer, you are doing what you're supposed to do. These are the things that, make up your track record as a politician and as whatever structure you come out under. You must be prepared to work for the people. You are not there for yourself. Our politics has been such that people come, they work for themselves, work for the godfathers, work for those who put them in power, settle all those they need to settle. Beyond that, there are people. There are citizens. There are people who represent a territory. And here is the FCT. If people have issues, listen to them. One, give an listening ear. Talk to them and see how you can work with them to address the plights they are raising, the issues they are raising. It's not to come, they come for meeting, hey, thank you very much for coming, you accept the paper they present, and that will be all. You now throw it, it's in the file somewhere. The people themselves must also find ways of following up. Okay. You must also have, I'm sure politicians have people who like special advisors and all that.
Who represent
people,
them.
Exactly. So these people should also be seen to be working for their people, not just be a special advisor to be carrying the bags and folders of your elected officials, but that you are also reminding
them of the needs
that,
on ground.
Sir, when we went to this place, these are commitments that we made. Let's remember to feature these things so that we can address these problems. Because when we leave, all these things will happen and people will remember that leader who did this for them.
Definitely.
So when you're coming on board, as if you get the chance to be the president, and of course you'll be based in the FCT, yes, what would you be remembered for? When you go to some communities, they will tell you, oh, this road was done by so person. This was done by so. What legacy will you be leaving behind? So my call to some of these elected representatives is that as you come on board, please remember the people who will come out under the sun and in the rain. February will not be rainy season. Who will come out under the sun to come and vote you into power? The trust that they have to vote you, remember them. You may not be able to do everything that they ask of you because, of course, like Nigeria is a very complex and we have very complex structures. You sit as a president. If there is a priority that you want to deal with it, how do you deal with it? Focus on it. Don't be, like you want to do 10 things at the same time. Take these things bits by bits because you also have processes. The budget process is there. These things must be captured and you must also be accountable. So accountability is one thing that I'm also calling on. Let them be accountable to the people and ensure that they do not lose touch with the people. It's important. And that is what we see in Nigeria. Once it is campaign periods, you will see the faces of those you elected into power. After campaign, if you want to see them, it will take you 2 years. That is if you even succeed. You have no connection, you just lose touch with these people, and you just sit there. It is what you are being fed.
That you use.
And that is not right.
All right.
Continuous engagement with people, and don't forget that these people voted you into power. I think it's very important.
Thank you so much, Kyota Agbandalu Giwa, a development practitioner based here in Abuja. We've been talking about FCT, the people, and 2023 general election. You've heard clearly that injustice is what breeds agitations and protests. And to harnessing or arresting these issues of protests and agitation, justice should be served to the people. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
We're glad to have you. And then we hope to have you more again and again. Thank you, Nigerians. That is how far we can go on the show this morning. I'm Jethro Ilya. Bye for now.